Okay, the day has come. You're ready to actually conduct your open house. Want you to consider having a partner with you at an open house. A couple good reasons for this is one, safety reasons, and to control traffic through the open house. So you know what your risk tolerance is and so forth, but if you feel like the open house is going to have a lot of traffic, it's important to maybe consider partnering with someone for the reasons I just mentioned, to sort of control things. There are people who look, the bad elements out there, who are looking for opportunities, and if the house is open and occupied, they maybe do a distraction technique to try to distract you while someone else goes and looks around and see if they can find anything of value, right? So just be aware of that. Now, if you are going to partner with someone, please just make sure, I say this as a broker for a long time, that there's no potential disputes or issues later. Just be super clear who you're working with, and that you have in writing how you're going to work together on this open house. How you're going to share the clients? Are you going to do everything's 50-50? Are you going to do I've seen it that way, I've seen it from you get the next person who comes in, then I get the next person who comes in. Whatever it is, make it super clear and always put it in writing. All right, next most important thing in the conducting of the open house is your sign placement. Now, if you've done your preparation correctly, you have already kind of checked the neighborhood and you have an idea, you've done your map recon, you know where you're going to put your signs, right? So put your signs up, or if you don't like to put the signs up, find somebody to help you. Maybe there's somebody in your family you can hire to do this, or maybe you can find a neighborhood friend or somebody has a young person who wants to make a few bucks and they'll do it for you. But sign placement is important, right? So you want to start placing your signs 15 to 20 minutes prior to the advertised open house, and I want you to start with the furthest sign out, because people will follow you. Don't start at the open house and then go outwards. Go inwards. Start at the best intersections and then move inwards. And you might even want to come a little early to the open house. I'm going to walk through setting it up and staging it, and then go place your open house signs. Consider in your open house signs, really have the arrow stand out. That's why I like red or yellow or something that stands out. I made the mistake in the past of creating open house signs that just did not stand out, and they got lost in the crosswalks and the sidewalks and so forth. So consider that. Consider balloons. Consider anything else that might draw people's attention, because that's what the signs are all about. So you'll find those best intersections, give yourself time to get that all set up. Consider bringing traffic in from more than one direction if that makes sense, and be prepared for people to follow you right to the open house. That's why you cannot be late for your open house, especially if you are advertising it. People will be ready to go. So staging the home. You want to think like new construction. If you've been to new construction, I want you to get that picture. Hopefully you've been to a new home at some point in your career. And you'll know that those houses are staged beautifully. There's always light. They don't even have window coverings for the most part. There's even 3/4 size furniture in a lot of new homes, so the rooms look bigger. Now, obviously a seller's not going to go to all that expense, but you can go in and brighten it up. Turn the lights on. Open up the window coverings. Open up doors. Put the toilet seats down. Even consider bringing background music. I'm not saying to mess with the seller's, if it's occupied, sound system. Nowadays you can get a great Bluetooth speaker and create your own sort of uplifting, upbeat playlist that has likable and recognizable songs that will appeal to the vast majority. Music can really set the mood for people. So you decide, but I like it as a touch. As I said, bring that portable Bluetooth speaker if you need to. Prepare or bring refreshments with the owner's approval. If you want, those are extra little things that you can do. Now you're going to set up your open house information center if you're going that way. All your marketing materials, whether you have a sign-in sheet or a clipboard. I'll go through some ways to get that information. If you have a tablet and you're using an open house app, you'll have that on display. Now, first impressions are everything. You'll want to dress for success and your area. I have worked all around the country and coached with folks, and it's just different from place to place. In Vegas, it was very laid back, and there was just a lot of people who, weren't always all dressed up, which I think is a mistake, frankly. A suit and tie, what you need to be. For ladies, is it Are you fully dressed professionally? Is it business casual? What is it that works? But you only have one opportunity to set that first impression. So dress for success as applicable for you in your area. When you are greeting people at the open house, don't pounce. People do not like it. I mean, do you like it when you go into a store and somebody's like, "Hi, can I help you? I need to sell something to you. I'm right here. Let me just be all over you." Everyone always like, "No, we're just browsing," right? Even if I want to buy something, people don't like it. So know that. So you want to do something like this. "Hi, welcome," smile. Always be smiling. You want to be approachable. You're going to have an opportunity to start a conversation. I'm going to walk you through all of that in this lesson, okay? So, "Hi, my name is Jan. Welcome in. How are you doing today?" Pause. Let them talk to you. All right, great. Hey, feel free to take a look around. I'll be right over here. I have some information over here about the home, or you could say something like, "If you have any questions, I'll be right over here." Remember, pointing out, like, here's my information center, because they are going to want to come over there and look at that. You might even get to come talk to you right away. If you have a unique feature, you may something like, "Hey, don't miss the amazing XYZ feature in the master bedroom or in the main bedroom or bathroom," and so on. Okay, so give people a little breathing room, right? If you have somebody with you, if you have some concerns about safety and all those, use your instincts, but just give people an opportunity to go through. I'm not saying you shouldn't point out all the features of the house, but people generally want a little room to look around, and then you can have a conversation, right? You don't want to jump in right away and start qualifying them. You have to show value, build that rapport, ask questions, and listen. Another pointer, don't be multitasking. Don't be on your phone as they walk in or on your computer. Make eye contact, remember to smile, start that conversation, let them go through the house. As they come back around, or you pick them up at some point during the tour, pointing out some features. So you may say something like, "So how does this house compare to others that you've looked at, or what you're looking for?" That may lead you to questions about, "Hey, how long have you been looking, or are you just browsing?" You want to kind of find out, are they just browsing? Do they like to look at houses? Or are they in the process? You'll find a lot of people start looking months, even a year, before they're actually ready to list their own home, buy another one. They may be, who knows what the situation is. Just start asking a question, listen. It will lead you to asking other questions about what they're looking for. How long have they been looking? What's their motivation to move or purchase? See what they'll tell you. You don't want to jump too quickly into the closing questions. You want to build that rapport first. And once you've had a little bit of back and forth and they're telling you a little bit about what's going on, then you can say, "So let me ask you, do you have a realtor?" And if they say yes, you're going to say something like, "Great, I'd be happy to send them information on this property if you'd like." You might even be able to say, like for me, I would say something like, because I've been in the business so long, "Oh, that's great. Who is it? I might know them." And that actually happened to me in a recent open house where I did know the agent, and I made the extra little courtesy call to that agent to say, "Hey, Tony, the Smiths, stopped into my open house. Just wanted to give you some feedback. And plus, we're trying to see if we can sell the house, right? It was our listing." If they say no, then you can ask if you can. There's a couple things that you can go here, right? So you could go this route with it. So it sounds like you're looking for, now I can only do this if I just ask them a ton of questions. So it sounds like you're looking for a single-story home in this neighborhood, the name of whatever the neighborhood is, in this price point with at least 3 bedrooms. 4 would be better. Have I missed anything? So what if I could set you up with a search that's coming directly from my multiple listing service, and you'll get notified anytime one of those properties that meets the criteria comes to you. It'll automatically send you the new ones, and then I'll be happy to follow up with you. So you can start that conversation. Now, the next thing that I want to share with you is how to share your mobile app. And this is the way I want to recommend that you say it, that you have this conversation. So we can go that way with the search alerts, but I particularly like this one better. So I may ask this question. So let me ask you, you say you've been looking for homes for the last 3 or 4 months. What's your favorite search site? Which listing service do you like to use? Inevitably, they're going to tell you Zillow or Realtor or maybe even Redfin. And what I'm going to do next is say something like, Zillow is such a great advertising platform. My company or my team, or if it's you personally, we have spent thousands of dollars on Zillow. But here's the challenge that I find with Zillow. There is sometimes misinformation on Zillow. I've actually had clients call and ask me to go see a home they found on Zillow, only discovered it's not even a listing, or it's sold, or it's just bad information. I say that it's not to throw Zillow up 100% under the bus. You've got to work with Zillow. You know, they have millions of eyeballs on their site. I'm sharing with you a way for you to get people. They like going to Zillow. Zillow is really good at advertising, and Zillow is very good at getting people to come back to their website. And by the way, you have that same tool if you're using a great IDX website. It's called the search alerts. That is what I think really, plus people like Zillow or Redfin or some of the others that are out there. They like the user interface. They get used to it, and Zillow or Realtor.com or whoever will be saying, hey, here's some more properties we think you're going to like. Well, you have that same feature. But what you got to do is differentiate yourself as to you have more only active listings, for example, updated more frequently, and there's not misinformation on your site, okay? So you're going to keep with this conversation, and you're going to say, great, Zillow, great advertising platform, however, comma, has some misinformation. So I want to show you the tool I use out in the field, and my clients love this tool. Let me just show you how it works. So now you open up your app, the customer version of your app. You actually have it on your phone. You start searching and you show them. So you click this button, it says search nearby. So when you guys are out and you're looking, just driving around like you are today, and you just want to know what the value of the property is, you can just open up this app. It's going to be able to show you what the listings are. You can type the listing in, and immediately you'll get all the information. And then in the app, it's going to show, you can call, text, or email me, and guess what? I will be happy to follow up and find out if the property is even still available, because we're in a hot market right now. Houses sometimes have multiple offers. Whatever the situation is, you're having a real conversation with people, okay? So I love showing this to people. I haven't even asked them for their information yet. You want to show them, people start seeing how cool it is, and then you're like, okay, I would love to be able to I can share this with you right now. Let me share my link with you right now and show you how you can download it, and I'll get it set up so you can start looking. And if the answer is yes, boom, now you pick up your phone, and guess what you do? You say, okay, great, what was your full name again? Awesome. What is your what's your number right there so I can text this to you? And while I'm at it, since I may be setting up some specific searches for you, what's your best email? Now, instead of having that fake sign-in sheet, I've just got their information. I'm actually putting it into my phone. Then you share your app and text it to them, and then you help them set it up and show it. I'm telling you, I love the mobile home search app, right? So let me text this to you and show you how fun and easy this app is to use. My clients love it, right? I use it out in the field. This is what I use. This is what I use as a realtor, right? That's the way you do this, okay? So love this idea, love the app. Also love the idea of, if you don't have an app for some reason, get one. And if you don't, do the search alert idea. All right, another great question that, especially if you have a lender on standby at your open houses that will be available to talk to people, and you really get into a great conversation with someone and build that rapport, you can ask that question. So let me ask you, have you started the financing process yet, or talked to a local lender? Stop talking and let them tell you. Okay, now this is the opportunity to connect with them and show additional value. My lender, Tammy, she's awesome. As a matter of fact, she knows I'm holding it open today. She's actually available if you'd like to chat with her, or I could at least get her information to you so that you can kind of see, since you haven't already started that process. And then you could go into the whole reason, if they haven't, even if they're not buying for months, how important it is to know what their buying power is, right? And so have some conversation ready to talk about that, and partner with a lender who's going to be able to help you, or share that loan app link or pre-qual link, and so on, right? So the key here is you are making connections. You're building rapport. You're having a conversation with people. You're being true. You're being real. You're being able to demonstrate, I know what I'm talking about. I love what I do. I stay up on this, right? Remember, trusted advisor, local market expert. This is what's going to help you convert open house visitors to potential clients, but you have to be approachable, friendly. You have to do these things, and you have to demonstrate that you have value, you can be of service, and you can help them. All right, that's it for conducting the live real open house. Join me in the next lesson, and we'll talk about how to do it virtually.